We're mad scientists. We're monsters, buddy.
You want me to help you put Jarvis into this thing?
No, of course not. Inside this thing.
Stark, come in. Stark. Anyone on comms?
This framework is not compatible.
Genetic coding tower's at 97%.
I'm gonna say this once.
How about nunts?
Shut it down.
Nope, not gonna happen.
No, go on. You were saying?
I'm sorry, that was odd.
Thor, you helped create this?
The Avengers cannot defeat Ultron.
Not alone.
I looked in your head and saw annihilation.
Look again. There may be no way to make you trust me, but we need to go.
Well done.
3 minutes. Get what you need.
As you'd expect from someone as understated as Tony Stark, the Avengers Quinjet is quite a bit more advanced than the ones we had back in S.H.I.E.L.D. It's slightly larger to accommodate the entire team, but is still just as fast and maneuverable as the previous model with, hey, this is starting to sound like a commercial. All you need to know is it will get you to Sokovia. Watch out, Ultron. The Avengers are coming your way.
Ultron knows we're coming. Odds are we'll be riding into heavy fire. Our priority is getting the people of Sokovia out. We find out what Ultron's been building. We find Romanoff. And we clear the field.
Natasha! You all right?
I don't suppose you found a key lying around somewhere.
Yeah, I did.
Ultron.
You shut me out. You take away my world, I take away yours.
We gotta move.
I adore you. But I need the other guy.
The other guy? I thought she'd never ask.
Let's finish the job.
Huh? I never get a break.
Now go be a hero.
If it drops?
Global extinction.
Go, go, go!
You okay?
This is all our fault.
Hey, look at me. It's your fault. It's everyone's fault. Who cares? But I'm going back out there because this is my job. Staying here, you're good. But if you step out that door, you are an Avenger.
clear here.
We are not clear.
All right, coming to you.
I've got airborne heading up to the bridge.
Cap, you got incoming.
Incoming already came in.
Thor, well, were you napping?
Cap, these people are going nowhere. If Stark finds a way to blow this rock.
I'm not leaving this rock with one civilian on it.
I didn't say we should leave. Where else am I gonna get a view like this?
Glad you like the view, Romanov. It's about to get better. Pulled her out of mothballs with a couple of old friends. She's dusty, but she'll do.
Altitude is 18,000 and climbing. Lifeboat secure to deploy. Disengage in 3, 2, take them out.
This is S.H.I.E.L.D.?
This is what S.H.I.E.L.D's supposed to be.
This is not so bad.
Let's load them up.
Glad to see you folks are still hanging in there. Sorry we're a little fashionably late, but you know how Fury loves his dramatic entrances. Let's help get these civilians out of harm's way. Oh, but don't forget the evil robot. Ultron's not suddenly gonna quit because the helicarrier showed up. It's time to put a stop to him once and for all.
Sir, we have multiple bogies converging on our starboard flank.
Show them what we got.
You're up.
Yes! Now this is gonna be a good story.
Yep. If you live to tell it.
I got a plan. Create a heat seal. I can supercharge the spire from below.
We're out of time. They're coming for the core. I am Thor, son of Odin, and as long as there is life in my breast, I am running out of things to say. Are you ready?
Rhodey, get the rest of the people on board that carrier.
On.
Avengers, time to work for a living.
What's the drill?
This is the drill. If Ultron gets a hand on the core, we lose.
Is that the best you can do?
This is the best I can do.
You know, with the benefit of hindsight,
I got no strings, so I have fun. I'm not tied up to anyone.
You didn't see that coming.
Boss, power levels are way below optimum.
Reroute everything. We get one shot of this. Thor, I'm gonna need you back in the church.
You'll never.
Thor, on my mark. Now!
Hey, big guy. We did it. The job's finished. Now I need you to turn this bird around, okay? We can't track you in stealth mode.
You're the last one.
You were supposed to be the last.
I suppose we are both disappointments.
You're unbearably naive.
Well, I was born yesterday.
So it doesn't count. No, it's not like a person lifting the hammer. Thank you.
He can wield the hammer, he can keep the Mind Stone. Someone has been playing an intricate game and has made pawns of us.
You think you could find out what's coming?
I do. Besides this one, there's nothing that can't be explained.
That man has no regard. I'm gonna miss him, though. And you're gonna miss me. It's gonna be a lot of manful tears.
I will miss you, Tony.
Yeah? Well, it's time for me to tap out. You all right?
I'm home.
How do we look?
They're good. They're not a team.
Let's beat them into shape.
Avengers!
Huh?
Fine. I'll do it myself.
This is Agent Sharon Carter of S.H.I.E.L.D., Special Service. Well, not anymore, but
I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning. Captain Steve Rogers' morning exercise was interrupted by a mission to rescue hostages on one of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s mobile satellite launch ships. The crew had been captured by the extremely dangerous Georges Batroc, and it was up to Captain America to bring them home safe and sound. Unfortunately for Cap, his splashy entrance meant he'd literally miss the boat. He would need help from the all-around nice guy Brock Rumlow, along with his strike team, to ensure the rest of the mission would be nothing but smooth sailing. Captain America had defeated Batroc and rescued the hostages, but was surprised to discover Black Widow going against orders by retrieving data from the ship's computer. Rogers demanded an explanation from Director Fury and was told about Project Insight, a plan to supposedly protect the world by connecting 3 helicarriers together. Disliking the idea because it would mean living in a world controlled by fear, Cap soon found himself on the run with Black Widow and his new friend, the Falcon. Together, they learned that high-ranking World Security Council member Alexander Pierce had turned his back on Fury and was going to use Project Insight to allow Hydra to rule the world. Oh, and then they ran into the Winter Soldier. As the fighting continued, the identity of the Winter Soldier was dramatically revealed. It was Steve's oldest friend, James Buchanan Barnes. As a result of Arnim Zola's experiments, Bucky had survived his fall from the train and had been brainwashed to serve Hydra. After escaping from Brock Rumlow's strike team, Cap and his friends reunited with Maria Hill and Nick Fury to come up with a plan to stop Project Insight. Their only hope was to reprogram the helicarriers so they would destroy each other, ending Hydra's evil schemes. After many grueling battles, Cap and the Falcon approached the final helicarrier console, but found the Winter Soldier standing in their way. Captain America and the Winter Soldier concluded their epic battle when Cap decided he didn't want to hurt his friend and refused to fight back. Project Insight was stopped when the helicarriers were brought down, but in the process, the entire S.H.I.E.L.D. organization was also completely destroyed. Sure didn't see that one coming. Oh, but it's okay. I got a new job. I knew you were worried about me. Captain America and the Falcon fell from the helicarrier into the water, but were saved by Bucky. Maybe there's hope for him after all? You're probably wondering how I know all this. Well, let's just say I live next to Steve, and I'm kind of a nosy neighbor. Do you want me to write this down?
You'd think that Tony Stark would be happy that he helped save the world from the Chitauri, but something about him's different now. He spends most of his time building new Iron Man suits at his mansion and has somehow managed to get himself in trouble with this mysterious menace known as the Mandarin. I'd like to think he knows what he's doing, but, well, he's Tony.
You see that lovely Malibu penthouse? Well, that's where I live with Tony Stark. Normally, it has a beautiful vista of the Pacific, but today, it has a fleet of gunships hired by the Mandarin to redecorate our lounge. He's the same villain that's been creating all kinds of chaos around town, even putting our friend Happy in the hospital. Guess he's not so happy now. Definitely not Tony's best decision giving our home address to a bunch of lava-blooded villains. On a positive note, at least his new Iron Man suit fits me snugly. For a second, we thought it was over, but a final missile slipped past. I watched in horror as the entire condo sunk into the abyss. Thankfully, Jarvis had managed to help Tony escape a watery end, but the suit had shorted out, leaving him stranded in Tennessee. Further adding to his troubles, the hot-headed villains happened to be visiting the area, and Tony's only ally was Harley, a local boy with a pretty mean potato gun. The pair were left with no choice but to take on the Flameheads together. Tony really should start keeping the rest of the Avengers on speed dial. After some creative use of a microwave, Tony defeated the remaining Extremis-fueled agents and headed off to take down the Mandarin. Then, things got complicated very quickly. The Mandarin turned out to be a washed-up British actor called Trevor, and the real villain was actually someone familiar. Not an ex-neighbor, but a nerd-turned-superhuman called Aldrich Killian. I've got to admit, he was looking much more suave these days. Killian only went and took me hostage, exposing me to Extremis. He also kidnapped the president, too, and planned to serve him up like a roast turkey. Tony turned up to save the day, this time with Iron Patriot by his side, and his entire back catalog of Iron Man suits. The 10-year-old with the potato gun would have come too, but he had to tidy his room.
suit was just like you! A failure!
Jarvis, do me a favor and blow Mark 42.
No!
Even after being cooked in an Iron Man suit, Killian was still up for another round. Luckily for Tony, I was in no mood for any more nonsense. Combining my terrifically toasty powers and an Iron Man repulsor, I flame-grilled the big geek. With that maniac out of the way, Tony celebrated by blowing up all his suits, promising to spend the holidays with me rather than with a screwdriver and an arc reactor. With the president now safe and sound, Tony promised to use his super genius to find a cure for the extremis enhancements. Straight after we'd had a festive dinner. Oh, and after he'd had his shrapnel removed. Oh, and don't forget, he is Iron Man.
While Thor was helping us track down Loki, we asked him about any potential threats to Midgard, Earth. One of his stories was about an ancient race called the Dark Elves, led by Malekith, who attempted to use something called the Ether to bring darkness to the Nine Realms. It sounded kind of serious, but Thor assured us it was all settled thousands of years ago. Why do I still have a bad feeling about this?
Long before the birth of light, there was darkness. And from that darkness came Malekith, a dark elf who millennia ago sought to return our universe back into one of eternal night, using the power of the Ether, an ancient force of infinite destruction. My father vanquished Malekith in a mighty war. It was a tale he recounted so often that he truly lived up to the name King Bor. At the climax of the battle, the Ether was destroyed. Or so we believed until Jane Foster, Thor's girlfriend from the wrong side of the Bifrost, somehow managed to stumble upon it, waking an ancient evil from his slumber, with only one layabout to defend her, and my favorite son in prison. Asgard was in more peril than it had ever faced. Too late. My lump of a son Thor added Malekith's escape to his considerable list of heroic failures. His only option was to seek the help of his brilliant brother, cruelly locked away and forgotten in Asgard's dungeons. Defying my orders, they fled Asgard through secret ways long forgotten. And together as brothers, they stood to face our greatest foe. Alas, my favorite son, a cold man, yes, but a giant in his way, gave his very life for Goldilocks, the hammer lover. By more luck than design, my lesser son and his girlfriend managed to return to Earth and regroup with the rabble they call friends. They hatched a plan that held the very future of the universe in its balance. So despite everything, the big lug won the day with the considerable sacrifice of his brilliant brother. What a shameful waste. If only Loki had lived to rule Asgard, what a king he would have made. Glorious and
burdened with glorious purpose.